much thinking. Impact of sun on our life. Scientists have believed that every living organism possesses an internal sensor and radar which gathers the cosmic waves, which feels the cosmic influences. Man also possesses it. But with time, with the burden of too much thinking, man has somehow lost the awareness of it. This cosmic waves, this gift of the nature, has given man the power of intuition as it has given to other living beings. But through so-called intelligence, this power has been eclipsed. Man has now lost the natural power of intuition which once he had. And it is not only just intuition. With time, man has lost many things which he once had and which was provided by the nature. And this has happened because of its development of intelligence. It is also true that by the same intelligence, he has gained many things which he did not have before. This extra gain has happened over time, but this gain has in turn resulted in destruction of mankind. With something given, something was lost too. Now we are at risk because man has developed too far, and with it, man has lost the basic power that nature has one bestowed upon him. Too much thinking has done the damage. The power of too much thinking has now become a threat. With too much thinking, man has invented what he wanted, but has lost what he once possessed, the power of intuition. This power of intuition is nothing but an inner source which somehow connects itself with the core cosmic source, the existence, the nature. And this is the reason why man sees what is going to happen. The future is revealed by the existence. because it is only the existence which knows. And we are not the only living species which have or rather had this power. Many other living beings possesses this power. The unique understanding that we gather when we look at the power of intuition is that we all are living and are somehow connected with each other. And importantly, with that one cosmic force, and that nothing is separate. All that is interconnected. They may look far off, but we all are connected. We are a part of a chain. And this is perhaps the only reason why we can see the future, why we get intuitions. Scientists have now concluded that whatever happens somewhere, the effect of it are felt upon all the living beings. And somewhere also means far off in the galaxy, as far off as the sun. Profound scientific studies which are conducted by the researchers have showed that there is a correlation between the sunspot activity and human behavior. The findings of the famous Russian researcher and scientist A.L. Techvigitsky gave some significant insight into sunspots and human behavior. In his study, he has researched on social movements and unrest of history of 72 countries, particularly of wars, of revolts, and internal violence. He studied covering the years from 500 BC to 1922 AD. And he has divided the sunspots into 4 major activities. 1. Minimum sunspot activity. The second, increasing sunspot activity. Maximum sunspot activity. And the fourth, decreasing sunspot activity. Techvigitsky derived that 80% of the most significant and historical influential events on Earth have occurred when the sunspot activity was at its maximum peak. He has researched that the US Civil War, which happened in the years between 1858 and 1861, The World War One, which happened in the years between 1916 and 1918. The Vietnam War, which happened between the years 1967 to 1969. These were all the years where the sunspot activity was at its maximum peak. He concluded that on the contrary, in the minimum sunspot activity period, people get depressed. They get suppressed and upset. In the scientific research, it was concluded that the human race has always been affected in one way or the other by the events happening on the sun. In the year 1991, columnist Gwyn Dyer gave a comment regarding some political news by writing, "The sunspots are getting bad, or they are putting something in the water. This is the reason there is commotion on earth." Sunspots not only gives aggression on humans, it also does some good. It is also believed that the sunspot contributes to cultural flourishing, such as in the field of arts, painting, music and literature. It is said that during periods of maximum sunspot bursts of creativity in painting, literature, science succeeds one another with lags of about 10 to 15 years. This research somehow shows that during the maximum sunspot activity, somehow the human behavior gets highly stimulated. There has always been a question on the effect of sunspots on human health. Though this attracts some controversy, some research says that the human health is largely affected with major diseases when the sunspots are maximum. And in general, human health seems good when sunspots are minimum. But Russian research has shown that in the times of minimum sunspot activity, human health and our immune system falls sick. It gets prone to diseases. And this is happening because of the less stimulation on sun. Professor D. Arsenaval was one of the Russian researchers who discovered that there is an increase of deadly diseases in the minimum sunspot years. In his report, he has said that not only human health But life itself also get hampered by the lack of solar activity. It was also believed that the yellow fever outbreak, which happened in East Africa in the early 1800s, happened around the period when the sunspots were minimum. It has been researched that after each 11 years, there is a great turmoil happening on the surface of the sun. It is followed by intense magnetic activities, explosion, and hot gazy ejections of almost 50,000 kilometers in the diameter. And whenever such mass changes happens on the surface of the sun, wars, violence, diseases occur on earth. This is evident from the fact that each 11 years there is something which majorly happens on earth. All this happens because of the 11-year cycle which ascertains, and all this points out of one fact, that we are not separate, that we are not isolated, that we are part of one huge ongoing process, that we are part of something, one which is very big. This also concludes that all of the future does emerge from the past, and all that happens is an extension of something already happening rather than something which has already happened.